ready. This is going to be exciting.
And we got a restart zone to go. Green flag is out and we're underway.
Just a few laps into this. Oh, the 37's getting loose. Oh, and he saves it. Oh, they're going 3 wide.
We've got a 5-way fight for the win of this race coming to 4 laps to go. He's gonna win it here in spectacular fashion.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the desert, Phoenix Raceway. Oh, baby, this is going to be a good one. Short track excitement for the next round of the Cruisin Classics Next Gen Series, the last race in the round of 8. Who is going to win and lock themselves up for a championship run come next week? You're going to see it all live here on V-Speed. Good evening, folks. I'm the redneck announcer, Jake Reeves, my good buddy Daniel Cunningham alongside of me, and the great producer Eddie Smith on production here this evening. This is going to be an absolute barn burner of a race. Daniel, first off, sir, how the hell are you? Last week, Gardner got the win. He already locked himself in. And we come to the desert, the short track excitement. We got beef. I think we're going to have some beef here tonight, to be honest with you.
Very well could be. We are going to set that championship for next week at Kansas Speedway. But like you said, before that, we've got 3 more spots to decide. Got some drivers that are going to be in a must-win situation, including the boss man, Patrick Drabick. He's got to go out there and basically park it in victory lane to lock his way in. You can see there, Jeremy Gardner already in that championship but McElwain, Silvers, Wilms, Barkas, Canova, Drabick, and Libke all trying to join Jeremy Gardner. And Jeremy Gardner, he's just out there trying to have fun. He won at this track last season. He's trying to defend that win and carry that momentum into the finale.
Yeah, absolutely. That's all he's just trying to do. I mean, that's the coolest thing is you already know you're racing for a championship come next week. You could literally pull some Nick Saban stuff and just throw it on the wall and just see if it sticks. Whatever it is, you could just go with it and just send it at that point. And, drivers out there running qualifying, got a minute and a half left in qualifying, so we got a little bit of time. We are at Phoenix, and you see the track and everything, all it is right now. And Daniel, this place has kind of went through somewhat of a reconfiguration, flip-flopped all over the place. I mean, hell, we had grass, the start-finish line was on the back stretch. I mean, you name it. This track's went through all kinds of different configurations.
Yeah, it really has. Turns 1 and 2 drastically different from turns 3 and 4. 1 and 2 a little bit wider, a little bit more sweeping turn. 3 and 4 much more narrow, a little bit more banking in that side of the racetrack. And then you got that dog leg. Anybody who's watched this track in real life, NASCAR, knows that you see these drivers use every inch of that pavement, whether it's below the yellow line. Doesn't matter. This ain't Dega or Daytona. You could go down there and use it. You may see 3, 4, 5 wide through there. Hell, in real life, in the truck race here, we saw 6, 7 wide. So You just never know what you're going to see when it comes to these restarts and the ways that you make passes here at Phoenix.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I mean, just so many crazy things that you're going to see out of all of that. Well, getting ready for the start of it, and we're getting ready to show you the grid here tonight. And how about you on the pole? Patrick Dravick with the Jam Printing and Promotions Pole Award winner. He'll be rolling off from P1 with Jeremy Gardner starting to his outside one last week. He's good to go. He can basically just gamble with it here tonight. Jake Ellingson and Jamie Barkus rolling off from row number 2, 3rd and 4th, respectively. Right behind them, you got Dylan Canova in the 70, hoping to have a good night tonight. And Jamie Lemke also in the playoffs, trying to win and lock themselves in to go to Kansas next week. Right behind them, row 4, you got James Kaufman and James Silvers. The battle of the Jameses right there in row 4. We'll see how that all turns out with them. And rounding out the top 10 is Timothy Williams and Corinne Smith. To you, Daniel.
Starting just outside the top 10, we've got Alex Cruz rolling off in 11th. Claire Sisk, the 12, starting in 12th here this evening. Cody McElwain in 13th, another one of those playoff drivers, with Charles Abert in the 14th position. Rolling off in 15th, going to be Tyler Evans in the 77. George Jewell did not record a time. He's going to be starting in the 16th position here this evening. Bobby Germain rolls off in 17th with Chuck Pegleg Phelps in the 18th spot. Rounding out our grid here this evening is going to be Matt Knights in 19th. You see Samuel Yosef's name. He is running the race control here this evening. Shout out to him for taking up what is the most thankless job in iRacing, was running that race control here this evening. And there you go. That is the Brady bunch that's got their cameras on here this evening. Chuck Pegleg Phelps, Jamie Lemke, Jake Ellingson, the boss man, Patrick Drabick, and Charles Abert. All smiles right now, but going to be all business here in just a few moments.
Yeah, they absolutely are. And we do want to also mention that the cams is provided by Dougie Beer. Damn, Chuck already throwing up the beer. Trying to go ahead and pop one up, get himself ready here tonight for Phoenix. But also we want to think about one of our great sponsors. We'll talk about them in there in a second. But there's your race analysis. 110 laps here tonight. No stages. That's not how Go Locker rolls. So obviously no stages, 110 laps, 45 mile per hour on the pit road. And 4 sets of tires, 2 green, white checkers, 100% fuel. Daniel, when are they going to be planning on making that pit stop?
Couple drivers I talked to pre-race said anywhere about 80 to 85 laps, maybe a little bit longer than that they can go on fuel. So if this is looking like a green flag type of race, they just split it right down the middle, come in about halfway, but definitely going to be an element of strategy. When do you make that pit stop? You can see the drivers are rolling off the pit lane here. This is going to be a real short pace lap. Lights are already off on the pace car. We're going to be going green here in just a moment, Jake.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm going to pull my auctioneer voice real quick for the Jam Printing and Promotions Pole Award. Since forming in 2013, Jam has contributed printing and promotional sponsorships to more than 60 local nonprofits with more than 60 local nonprofits with a primary focus on organizations that assist veterans, women, and children. They have been with Goat Locker Racing since the very, very beginning. Local and veteran certified. When they do well, they do good in the community. Can you believe it? I made it all the way to the start to be able to get that bad boy done. Well, folks, strap in. Get your cold beer ready. Chuck Pegleg Phelps has got his. Get your popcorn ready. We're ready to rock and roll. Who's going to Kansas next week? Green flag is in the air. We're racing for the Cruisin Classics Next Gen Series here at Phoenix. And oh my, they have already pinned it down on the bottom, trying to work their way through here. Jake Ellingson already jumping out to the front. Patrick Dravick second. Canova goes to third. Gardner slipping back into the fourth spot.
Oh, got one around in the back. That is the 77 of Tyler Evans. He is around. Caution is out here on lap number 1. Didn't look like he made any significant contact with the wall. Did nose it into that outside wall just a bit. Let's take a look here on the V-Speed instant replay. See what happened with the 77. You can see it looked like Claire Sisk got into the wall ahead of him just a little bit. Trying to pull it down on corner exit, and car just snaps around on him. That was a little bit harder hit than what I initially thought for the 77. Should be able to continue on here, but That honestly, Jake, that just looks like a product of cold tires, no grip starting off. Something that is a rather big problem in these next gens. It's just so hard to get the heat into the tires.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I mean, the air temp at about 81, track temp 83, so it's nothing crazy. It's nothing like off the wall crazy like we have seen in the past with some of the temperatures that we've had. Check out your points down here on the bottom. Do want to mention these. There you see where Patrick Dravick is. If he wins, he locks himself in. You see the green with the 6, he jumps all the way up to the top. That is where they run as of right now. If this was lap 110, then Patrick Dravick would be all the way up there. This is what you're looking at. And you're going all the way to where Canova is. Below him is Silvers, Barkis, Lipke, and Wilms. They would be out, Daniel, but we just started. So, I mean, that's just an idea. And you're going to see that board in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen tonight, folks, over and over, time and time again, just to kind of give you an idea of where they're going to be at and kind of help you out as far as who's going to make it and try to race for a championship come next week.
Yeah, really cool feature that we've got here. We're going to be talking about that points battle throughout the evening. And for Patrick Dravick, he's essentially in a must-win situation. I mean, technically, he's only 15 points back of the cutoff, but with the field size coming into this race, he would have to have a lot of drivers have a lot of issues. And even then, it may not even necessarily be enough. But you can see right there, he gets that win, puts him right into that championship 4, and would actually knock out James Silvers right now as they run. But like you said, quite a long way to go. As the lights are off on the pace car, we have got the 1 to green here.
There you see Patrick Dravick, the 07, one of the man, the myth, the legend, as I've called him numerous times this season, Daniel. And up there at the front, the bad part about it is you got 2 teammates right here. You got Barkis, you got Dravick, both of them trying to get in. And that's going to be something that's going to be really hard for these guys, to do, because Barkis is 6, Dravick's up here leading this thing. Throughout the night, both of these drivers may end up finding one another, and how is that going to work out, especially when you got the 2 big men here at Goat Locker trying to make it into the championship race, because they're going to have to race one another, I would think, before it's all said and done. Pace car is off. They work their way all the way down the back chute. Very, very unique for getting the restart here at Phoenix. And green flag back in the air. Dravick able to gas up and try to check out. Gardner, he'll slide up into the 2nd spot with Ellingson 3rd, Canova and Lipke the top 5. Is there you see Jeremy Gardner in the 57 trying to hold everybody at bay with Dravick leading off 2.
Yeah, and something that I noticed on that restart, Jake, Patrick Dravick took a pretty wide lane down into the dog leg to be able to cut it. It was really close to a lane change. I'm not sure if it was before or after the start-finish line, but something that race control will definitely be keeping an eye on throughout the night, especially with the way that these drivers do cut the dog leg, that, you can't do that until after you cross that start-finish line. But for right now, Dravick out to about a 0.4 of a second lead. The battle is on for that number 2 spot. Jeremy Gardner has taken it. You see Dylan Canova there, another driver. He is the cut line right now for this playoff. He doesn't want to have to worry about points. He doesn't want to have to worry about where everybody else is running. He wants to get up there where that 0.7 is and just go ahead and win his way into the next round. You can see there behind Gardner, there is a bit of a hornet's nest starting with quite a few cars there. You see Barkis, Silvers. It's a little thrown off by James Silver's scheme, running some different colors here this week than what he normally does in that number 4 car. You see Jamie Lipke right behind as well. So all of our playoff drivers working their way up to the top of this field, trying to lock their way into that championship race.
And, Daniel, you mentioned just a second ago with, Dravick possibly looking like maybe got real close to that lead change. Obviously, Samuel Joseph being the race director here tonight. If I was Samuel and Dravick did get busted for a lane change, he might just want to go ahead and just let that go. Because you got to think about it. Dravick's owner of all this. He can tell him, hey, you're fired. You don't want to run into that problem with obviously the boss man, or one of the boss men here with Goat Lockers. He's right on board with Dylan Canova, just chomping away, chomping at the bit. Both of them have already got out to about a second lead over Jeremy Gardner. and Gardner kind of laying back like that. It's like we talked about. Gardner ain't got nothing to worry about. He doesn't have to race his tail off. He's just here for the experience. He's just here for the party at this point. But these two guys up here, Drabic needing to win, Canova, I mean, depending on how it all works, I mean, he's sitting third right now, so I mean, he may be okay, but I mean, you don't want to play, you don't want to chance it, right, Daniel? You don't want to chance it because they don't have the liberty of seeing what we see right now, unless they're watching it on YouTube. But Canova says, I'm trying to go to the inside.
Oh, he made contact with Drabic. What a save.
Damn, what a save by Drabic.
Holy moly, what a save out of the 07. And it looked like Canova was trying to give him a chance to get it gathered back up. Didn't want to take the lead that way, but that allows everybody to close right back in. Hey, good night. We got to go back and watch this again on the V-Speed Instant Replay. Canova had really been chasing down that 07, gets in just a little too hot. And good God, that is a save you just do not see in these next-gen cars. But Patrick Drabic just pulled it off, and that, I mean, if we had a candidate for save of the season, maybe not even just in next-gen, in all at Goat Locker, that's got to be the #1 candidate right now.
Good Lord, I'm telling you right now, put him on a slick track up at Pigeon Forge, Tennessee with the baby powder all over it, and he would probably be able to save it there as well. But now, like you mentioned, everybody else has been able to catch back up. They had him by about a second. Now everybody's caught back up. Gardner's caught up. Ellingson, Silvers, Lemke, Kaufman, all of them have caught back up. And now Drabic stuck up on the top side. Canova down on the bottom side. The door banked just a little bit, got real close, might have not have had. But now Canova takes it all the way down to the center with Grandpappy has the moonshot for Grady. They almost make contact again. Drabic not wanting to give an inch. Canova wanting to take that spot. Oh, baby, this is what the playoffs is all about right here. Win, and you are in, Daniel.
And I am taking a look right now. We've talked about this battle with Patrick Drabic. We've talked about that he's in the must-win. I am seeing that Race Control has given Patrick Drabic a black flag. I can only assume that it is for that restart that we had. Maybe they went back and took a look at it. I'm not 100% sure, but you see him coming down pit road. And here he comes to serve that pass-through penalty. We'll have to get confirmation from Race Control what that black flag is for.
Yeah, that, unfortunate for that one. Unfortunate for Patrick Drabic, and also unfortunate for Samuel Joseph because he'll be on the unemployment line completely after this race right here, depending on where Drabic finishes. Just kidding around. But anyway, Drabic down there as well. He is easily going to go one lap down unless he can just gas up, get off pit road, and hurry up and get out of there. But certainly doesn't look. I mean, yeah, well, actually, yeah, he was able to pull off pit road, but certainly detrimental to him. And look at the bottom right of your screen, folks. Drabic, who was sitting all the way up there in P2, look how far he dropped. He went all the way down to 8. He is all the way at the bottom of the grid as far as the top 8 is in the points. I mean, that's how quick you can drop just for something like that. Canova goes up to second. Drabic goes all the way down to 8.
Yeah, Patrick is still on the lead lap at this point, and confirmed with Race Control, that penalty was indeed for a restart violation. And from what I saw on the restart, it wasn't necessarily that he went below that yellow line before the start finish. He actually drifted up to the top lane before they got to the start finish line to widen out that entry to cut the dog leg. So unfortunate, and I mean, it's so easy to do at this track. This is one of the, I'm just going to say, it's one of the weirdest tracks as far as restarts, the restart zone. There's so much that's just peculiar about this place that you don't really deal with anywhere else. And Patrick Drabic on the wrong side of it here. And, you know, he is still on the lead lap. If he gets a caution, he can definitely work his way back up there. But definitely an uphill climb from this point. As you can see, Dylan Canova continues to lead, but Jeremy Gardner closing right in on him now, trying to put some pressure on to get that win.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and I'm telling you, that's going to be big out of that. But now Canova trying to hold on to that lead. Jeremy Gardner jumps right by him. If he was able to jump right by him, you know, then after that, everything else is going to flip-flop. You see already Canova sitting up there in the second spot. McElwain and Silvers, that's the 4 drivers with Gardner that would shoot right through there. Granted, you know, we keep talking about that, Daniel. We keep talking about, oh, Lord, you know, there's this and there's that, there's this and there's that, and there's this and there's that. Worried about what you're seeing on the bottom right. But that's the damn point. I mean, you want to be able to be in that top 4, and we're going to talk about that all night long. And it's like I said, it's just going to flip 9 ways to Sunday all over the place. So we're going to be talking a lot about that leaderboard that you see on the bottom right, but also the leaderboard that's on the left side of your screen as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, that's definitely what these guys, those 8 drivers on the graphic, are racing for here this evening. Like you said, except for Jeremy Gardner, he's just out there trying to go and take a win. And, you know, if you're Jeremy Gardner, maybe he thinks this way, maybe he doesn't. If you know that there's somebody that's in a must-win situation to race their way in, there's kind of 2 different ways you can look at it. You can look at it and say, this driver has a lot more to lose than I do. I'm already locked in for next week. I don't want to risk pissing anybody off. The second way you can look at it is just saying, maybe I don't want to race this driver for the championship. Maybe I would rather see if I can knock them out and take my chances against somebody else if it puts them below the cut line. So knowing Jeremy, I would have to think he's thinking the second way. He's probably thinking, who do I want to race? Do I want to throw everything but the kitchen sink at this to try to take this win away and maybe see if it pushes Canova outside of that top 4? Because Canova's been strong all season, but he's really come on late here. He's had a lot of momentum going his way, a lot of really solid finishes. He's somebody that I wouldn't want to necessarily have to beat next week in Kansas.
Yeah, I mean, you're absolutely right. So, Gardner may want to try to worry about that.
And Canova, actually, I didn't see what happened to him there. Did he come down pit lane? No.
Oh, wow. He may be gone.
Well, I'll be damned. There's the broadcaster curse right as soon as I'm talking about him. He just disappears, and he is gone completely off the track, has not showed back up yet. And, man, if that is the way that his championship hopes come to an end, what an absolute heartbreaker if it's due to a connection issue.
Daniel, come stand in the corner. You're busting people 9 ways to Sunday, man. Good Lord. But Gardner ends up taking over the lead. Jake Ellison right behind him. Jake not in the playoffs. James Silvers, however, is. And, I mean, there you see it once again with that leaderboard, how it just flipped. I mean, Canova all the way down to the 6th spot. He is gone. He's 2 laps down. He's pretty much out of this damn thing. So then that moves up Jamie Barkas. Barkas will move up to the 4th spot, and then you got Libke right there, and both of those drivers separated by 2 points. That is just, I mean, that's how tight it is right there for that whole deal. Dravic being the fastest car on the track or at this moment, he's still the fastest one, and he is faster than Gardner. Obviously, he's catching him, but he's going to have a little bit of help right here, Daniel, if Patrick Dravic wants to try to get back in this damn thing.
Are you trying to trust me to talk about another driver? Every time I do, something happens to him. But you know what? We'll give it another shot here. What about this battle for position between 2 of our playoff drivers? That's McElwain and Barkas, 2 teammates here as well. Jamie Barkas currently holding down that final spot in the championship 4, as you can see there on the live points. What about Jamie Libke also up there in the 4th position? Going to need a little bit of help. Going to need Barkas to lose a couple of spots here with that point gap that we're seeing. Working up there, maybe try to get up to at least the 2nd position. But Jamie's another driver that we've talked about. We talked about at the beginning of the playoffs. Somebody that could make a little bit of a dark horse run as she smacks the wall while I'm talking about her. You know what, Jake? You handle this for a little while. I think I'm having flashbacks to Road America and the IndyCar series again.
Yeah, that was a fun time. That was a real fun time. I mean, we absolutely, yeah. And to be honest with you, I think you might actually have the record for how many times that you had the commentator's curse in that one race when we were at Road America. Very, very unfortunate. But there's Cody McElwain sitting 2nd in the points. McElwain up there in the 5th spot. Jamie Barkas right behind him as well. Then Libke right there mentioned it, 2 points. That's all that separates them. Libke needs to get those 2 points, Lipke needs to get up here and basically run for second at this point, because that's basically what Jamie Lipke's got to do if they want to have any shot at trying to get around Jamie Barkus as far as those points goes. And like I said, folks, these drivers, they don't have the luxury of what you have at home, of what we have right here calling the race, unless they're watching it on YouTube while they're driving, which I would not recommend to do that because it never works out. But these guys, they're just having to guess at it. Am I close enough? Am I close enough, Daniel? Am I close enough? These guys got to guess about it. They don't have the luxury of seeing what we're seeing.
Yeah, and that is true. And I know personally, whenever I've been in these situations, because I always seem to be that driver that's right around the cut line, because just being honest, I ain't fast enough to go out there and win. So I've got to worry about the points every race that I go out there in these situations. I usually go into the race saying, okay, I'm 2 points ahead of this driver behind me, 3 points ahead of this driver. I've kind of got the idea going in of who I'm racing going into it. So a lot of these drivers probably with the same mentality to ride along on board here with Chuck Pegleg Phelps. Front row ticket to the gun show for driver number 75 there, making his way around. And I don't think Chuck actually turned one lap in practice here this evening. I think he was just hanging around talking with everybody while practice was going on. So really impressive run so far, running just outside the top 10 right now with those Save 22 colors on board of that number 75. Just seems like a good opportunity. While we're talking about Save 22, let's go ahead and give them a shout out as well. Save 22 being a 501c3 organization dedicated to preventing suicide among veterans, active duty personnel, and first responders. Their unwavering mission extends to 4 critical pillars: shield, assist, volunteer, educate, at save22.vet. And Jake, just as a side note, I would like to point out that while I was talking about Chuck and talking about his sponsor, not only did I not put a curse on him, he made a pass for position. So I think that's got to take one away from me for the evening.
Yeah, well, yeah, I tell you what, one away from the evening, and you know what, we may end up just taking one off of that leaderboard that Lucas Lyons had, that little friendly bet that we had going on, may end up taking one off of that leaderboard as well, just to try to hook you up out of that one as well. You see everybody working their way, once again, right here around Phoenix, 37 down out of 110. See all these drivers working their way. There's Cody McElwain smack dab in the middle of a battle between the Jamies, Jamie Lipke and Jamie Barkus. Here for, what we have right here, the round of 8 for the Cruisin Classics Next Gen Series. There is battle for position with Lipke and McElwain and Barkus. And not too far behind them, that 25, James Kaufman having a very solid run in that 25. And Timothy Wilms, a driver that is also in that top 8 for the points. Wilms, he's down there in the 6th spot, but at the same time, Timothy Wilms, you see where the points is, they're not off by damn much. They're not, Daniel. Every point is a position, and that's what they're trying to work for right here. So Timothy Wilms certainly not out of this thing with that Cruisin Classics Toyota. You know what? You done it with the Save 22, I'll do it with the Cruisin Classics. Why not? Because we're looking at one of the Cruisin Classics cars out here. And obviously, Cruisin Classics located in Columbus, Ohio. Cruisin Classics has a BEA beautiful 56,000 square foot showroom filled with hundreds of unique automobiles. There's something for everybody out of their hand-picked selections, if you got the money, of muscle cars and hot rods. Come on down to visit the facility today. Check out their website at cruisinClassicsInc.com. I always got to say that, Daniel, if you got the money, because some of those cars, they're absolutely beautiful, and I guarantee you they would not be able, my salary wouldn't be able to afford some of them.
Yeah, I feel that. But, plus you've got the kid here, I've got a kid on the way, so we can't go spending college funds here on cars, unfortunately. But Timothy Wilms, he is putting that Cruisin Classics car to work right now, trying to make the move on the 25 of James Kaufman for the 7th position. And, you're talking about he's really not that far outside of the cutoff. Definitely has a little bit of work ahead of him. Needs a little bit of help to get up there. But if there's one thing that we have learned throughout the course of this season, you cannot count out that 86. You just can't write him off. We saw it at Darlington when he got his win on the season. You and I both said there ain't no way he can make this race to the end on fuel. What did he do? Went out there, made it to the end on fuel, won the race, pulled the rabbit out of the hat. So I'm not going to bet against that 86 car here this evening.
No, I mean, you can't bet against any of these drivers. I mean, any of them, for that matter. I mean, we've seen some thrills, we've seen some spills, we've seen some crazy stuff happen this season with the Cruisin Classics Next Gen Series. So you can't bet against that 86 at Timothy Williams. And another driver that you can't really bet against is Jamie Lemke, up there in the 4th spot, right there in front of Cody McElwain. McElwain obviously running in 2nd. But Jamie Lemke, remember, Jamie got a win earlier this season as well. I believe at the Milwaukee Mile, if I'm not mistaken. I believe that's where Jamie got their win at. So right now sitting in the 4th spot, 2 points behind Jamie Barkis. Lemke's got to get 2 more spots. Got to figure it out. They got to get around Silvers, and they got to get around Ellingson. But Ellingson ways off, but you never know, baby. Somebody gets a little bit of love tap, we get a little bit of beef out there, get a little door banging going on, we could have a caution, and it could really throw this race all over on its lid.
Yeah, you just never know how things are going to play out. And talking about some of the playoff drivers, we mentioned Dylan Canova was one of those that we saw him up there in the lead, had that connection issue. He has returned to the racetrack. The pit crew got the carburetor replaced on it, I think is what happened to that number 70. I'm going to refrain from saying what Kevin Harvick said about the parts on these next-gen cars. But they got it fixed up, got him back out on the track. He is currently showing as 12 laps down, though. But, hey, he's the first car that's at least a lap down. So if a caution comes out, maybe he can get a couple of lucky dogs, free passes, and you just never know. Maybe there's 12 cautions on order to help him get those laps back.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, still plenty of time for that to happen any way, shape, fashion, form. I mean, it's going to take a while, a good while, for that to happen. Patrick Drabick, though, you see where Patrick is. He had that restart violation. He's all the way back in 15th, but Drabick still, I mean, he's still trying to claw his way. I mean, we're right here close to the halfway point, but we still got a long way to go. Anything can happen around any kind of turn. We've already seen it here tonight at Phoenix. Just guys just snapping loose or whatever. Weather's kind of staying, the weather's actually flipped a little bit, if you will, Daniel. We started out at 82 and 83. Now the air temp's at 80. It dropped, but the track temp went up. It's up at 87, but certainly I don't think the track temp is going to be hot enough for these next-gen cars to be slipping and sliding all over the place with the track getting real hot and greasy. I don't think that's going to happen, especially in the nighttime.
Yeah, and, it's interesting, too. I believe that they do have the short track aero package on these next-gen cars here at Phoenix, similar to what they would run at like a Martinsville or Richmond, places like that. So it's actually a little bit surprising to me that these guys aren't struggling for grip a little bit more than they are. And even just looking at the lap times right now, only about a second of fall off for our race leaders over what their fastest lap of the race has been. You can see the last lap time there over on the scoring pylon. So, I mean, not really even a huge advantage to coming down pit lane and trying to undercut. I feel like a lot of these drivers may just kind of run this a little bit longer here, see if you do catch a caution, because, I mean, we saw it with Patrick Drabick when he had to come down and just serve the pass through. Even without making a stop in his box, he just about went a lap down. And if you're going to have to actually make the 4-tire stop, then you're definitely going to lose a lap. But, of course, right as soon as I say that, somebody might run long. Here comes our race leader, Jeremy Gardner. He's actually going to kick off the green flag pit stops here. And a little bit surprising to see him as the first one to hit pit road here.
Not really. I mean, to be honest with you, I'll play devil's advocate just for a second right here, Daniel. I'll play devil's advocate on that. Jeremy Gardner, I'm not really surprised to see him be the first one to jump down pit road. Why? He ain't got nothing to lose. I mean, he can come down here. He can do whatever he wants at this point. It's not going to matter. It's not going to change anything for him next week. You see George Jewell, Alex Cruz coming down pit road as well. And George Jewell obviously trying to make something happen here tonight is obviously they're down pit road. But I will say this, that is going to open the floodgates. Daniel, this right here, of all this going on, that is going to open the floodgates, or at least I think, for other drivers to come down pit road, get 4 freshies, and fill it up full of fuel. Because we are right at that halfway point right now at this time. With 53 laps in of 110, we're, 2 laps shy of the halfway point. And there they come. Cody McElwain going to jump on down pit road and try to make something happen as well. Jamie Barkas right behind him as well. So 2 drivers around the playoffs. Barkas sitting in 4th on the standings. McElwain, he's in good shape. He's up there in 2nd. But Jamie Barkas, this is the money stop for him to be able to try to get back out there and try to make it into the Final Four.
Yeah, absolutely. And, talking about just the differing pitch strategies, you got a driver like Jeremy Gardner that doesn't have anything to lose. What about somebody like Jamie Libke or Timothy Wilms? Do those drivers stay out and run this long to either, number one, try to lead a lap and get the bonus point for the lap led, try to help out the cause a little bit to point your way in, or maybe you do get lucky and you catch that caution? I mean, it looks like we may see a couple more of our leaders hit the pit lane this time around. However, James Silvers, he's going to stay out. He's going to take advantage and get that bonus point for leading a lap here this evening. But Jamie Libke actually hits pit lane this time around. So throw that strategy out the window that I was just talking about for her. But if you're Timothy Wilms, though, running in 2nd, I mean, we've talked about he has a pathway to point his way in. Obviously, you can see him running in the 4th position right now, overall in points, 2nd on the track. But that's with these other drivers already having made their pit stop. So he's essentially in a must-win, or he's at least in a I got to throw a Hail Mary kind of situation. Like you said earlier, you pull a Saban move, you throw something up against the wall, see what sticks. Maybe you get that caution that you need.
Absolutely, and you've already seen with Silvers leading that lap, watch it down on that bottom right with all the pit stops and everything that's been going on. It flipped as now Timothy Wilms decides to come down pit road. Oh, good God almighty, I have one right there parking it right there in front of him. That was Matt Knightson, the 64, literally parked it right in front of him. And Timothy Wilms, he can't worry about other guys parking it in front of him going into the pits. They need to get the hell out the way. If I'm Timothy Wilms, I'm hollering at him on the radio, move, get out of the way. I have got to go right here. I've got to get up here. I've got to get down pit road, get out of here as quick as I can. Timothy Wilms on his money stop, if you will, down pit road. And we'll see how this works out for the 86, but watch how everything's going to flip-flop when everybody starts flying by one another. Wilms has it right now. Silver's still out there on the racetrack. And, Silver's he missed pit road. So Silver's is going to have to try to make something happen, almost T-boned the barrels. And now he's going to have to try to figure out a way to get back down there. And now James Silvers comes as well. And once again, everything flip-flopped on the bottom right.
Yeah, this is definitely a tricky pit road to get onto with just the way you have to enter onto. It's super flat down there. It looks like you've got a lot more room than what you think you do. But let's take a look here at this first attempt. And Silvers, I mean, he made the right decision there. There was no way he was going to be able to make that turn. You hate to give up the time on track to do that. But at that point, you really don't have any other choices. But look who's back at the top of the leaderboard. Patrick Drabick, of course, still has to make that pit stop, has not yet come down pit lane. But again, throw the Hail Mary, throw something up against the wall. You got to try something. I mean, if I'm him, I'm not pitting until that car's out of fuel. I'm just going to run it long, hope for the best, because this is the only opportunity that he has to try to regain all of that track position that was lost from the drive-through penalty. So taking a look here, that is a look of focus, determination, maybe a little bit of irritation, too, from the driver of the 07. But one thing about it, he's still not out of it, and the caution is out. He got what he needed.
Wow.
Exactly what the 07 was hoping for. The 4 of James Silvers with heavy front-end damage. And talk about flipping everything upside down. This changes everything for the complexion of this race.
Oh my goodness, I am literally speechless. Wow, I'm telling you, this is going to be some straight up drama right here. Check it out one more time. Damn, hard impact for James Silvers in the 4. Snaps it loose. Cold tires, like you were talking about a minute ago, Daniel. I think that played a big factor right there for the 4 of Silvers. And look what happened to James Silvers in the points. We saw him a while ago. He was sitting in 2nd. He has dropped all the way to 4th. Nova right there, Barkus right there, they're tied trying to figure out a way to get up there, but the points is straight up tight as all get out now as Gardner goes down pit road. Drabick, Corinne Smith, their drivers jumping down pit road right here, Daniel. Oh, Lord have mercy. Talk about turning a race over on its lid.
Yeah, that just absolutely flips everything upside down. And as some of these drivers pit, some stay out, you can see it changing over there on that scoring pylon for the points as they run. If Patrick Drabick can get back up there and win this race, it's going to move that cut line. The best friend that James Silvers has right now is anybody but the 07, basically. If Patrick Drabick wins with that damage that Silvers has, I don't see a reasonable way that Silvers can point his way in. He's going to lose more spots and more points to Timothy Wilms, to Jamie Libke. Dylan Canova, it looks like, has disconnected from the session at this point after that earlier connection issue that he had. But that just opens the door for more of these drivers to take advantage here.
Lord have mercy. There is no telling how this is going to work out right here, Daniel. I'm telling you. I mean, and you got big, heavy hitter. You got some new players up here. Talk about Timothy Wilms. You know, we talked about him a second ago. Do not count that 86 out. Do not count out Timothy Wilms. He's had a fantastic season. And, you know, from his race at Darlington and everything else. Timothy Wilms. How about Jamie Libke up there sitting in P5? Jamie trying to slide up here and make something happen. Jamie Barkus has fell all the way down to the 7th spot. Libke could easily, check it out, tied with James Silvers right now as they run. Libke could get that point. Obviously, you mentioned it was Silvers having that damage. Libke's in prime position to slide by Silvers. And folks, if you had, you know, like say Gardner and maybe Barkus and Canova and Patrick Drabick, if you had them on your race pool to try to bet, you're probably screwed because you probably just lost a lot of money. I'll just put it to you like that because I don't see that happening here tonight. We may see some new names and new faces and some drivers that is going to get to live the dream going to Kansas next week to race for the Cruisin Classics Next Gen Series Championship here with Go Locker Racing, Kaufman, Jewell up on the front row, Wilms, Libke, Cruz, the top 5. They hit the restart zone. Green flag. We're back in the air. We're back green here at Phoenix.
And you can see just a little bit of a stack up there on that inside lane on the restart. Neither lane was super tight coming to the line. And there's almost contact between the 07 of Drabick and Jeremy Gardner in the 57. Those two able to continue on as, Corinne Smith goes around in the back, but she's able to keep it straighter off the wall. Doesn't fully go around, no caution, but almost contact there between Libke and Drabick as well. They are going at it right now. Patrick Drabick knows he has got to get up there, get to that number 1 spot. That is his only way to advance. And James Silvers holding down that final spot in the championship 4. But Jamie Barkus back in 10th. He's got a lot of spots that he can make up right now, and he could easily make that gap if it doesn't change with a new winner up there at the top of the board.
Yeah, very much could as Kaufman gets sideways on the front straightaway, able to try to straighten it back out. No caution on the speedway. Timothy Wilms in the 86 to the lead here at Phoenix. Cody McElwain, remember, he is on 2 tires. Patrick Drabick is on 4 tires, and they have slid up and got up into the 2nd and 3rd spots. They got around Jewell. Gardner right behind Jewell as well. Then you got Jake Ellison and Jamie Libke. Oh, baby, I'm telling you what. Daniel, who's your horse right here? Because we're at 88 of 110. Who's your horse to win this damn thing?
Hey, you ain't tricking me into that. I ain't putting another broadcaster curse on no one. I've worked with you too long. I know what you're up to. I just hope they all have fun. That's what I'm going to say. So that means they'll all probably be pissed off at each other. We'll have beef after this race. But, talking about those tire advantages with Dravic being the first one out there on 4, Wilms only had a couple of green flag laps on his tires before that caution came out. Cody McElwain on 2 tires, though, is chasing that 86 down. Wilms, at this point, I don't believe he is in a must-win situation any longer, with those other drivers having some problems. Almost contact there with the lap car of Matt Knights, but he moves out of the way, lets these leaders battle it out. But just with some of the other issues that these leaders have had, I think Wilms has a legitimate way to point his way into this finale at this point.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and, Daniel, I was so geeked up. I was so flipping out all over the place. I said 88 laps. I'm at 68 laps. I'm getting ahead of myself. 20 laps more than what I should be. Roll lap 70 of 110. I'm telling you, this is going to be a race for the ages. And if Dravic can win this, you mentioned with the Kevin Harvick kind of deal. Kevin Harvick was obviously the closer and could really pop it off here at Phoenix. Dravic is in a walk-off situation, a walk-off for the ages for Goat Locker if Dravic can make it happen, but Cody McElwain will flip-flop, go all the way up to the lead. Dravic now dives down to the inside. Dravic will go to second. Right behind him, Gardner. He's going to slide by Timothy Wilms. Wilms going to fall a couple of spots, but still in good shape as far as the bottom right goes, sitting third with Silvers back there in fourth as far as they go. But Dravic trying to run down Cody McElwain.
Yeah, and I'll be honest, Jake, I do not know what the tiebreaker would be if it comes down to that. I believe it's best finish on the round, but we'll have to take a look and confirm if it does come down to that here a little bit later on. But Timothy Wilms, as they run, still in that number 3 position in points, number 4 on the racetrack, but he does not have a whole lot of ground that he can give up at this point. He has got to fight tooth and nail for every position. If he gives up too much, it could put him in that number 4 spot where a Patrick Dravic win could potentially then knock him out of this championship race. And even taking a look a little bit further back, Jamie Bark is starting to pick up a few spots. You see him now in that number 4 position in points as he works his way around Jamie Lipke for the 7th position. There is a lot of movement taking place within that points battle with those live points as they run. And this thing is far from settled at this point as Bark is able to clear around. And you can see now as they run, Bark is actually up into the number 3 spot overall in points. But back up here for the battle for the lead, it's 2 teammates, Cody McElwain, Patrick Dravic. I can tell you right now, there is no team orders between these two. Dravic wants that lead, wants the shot at the championship.
I'll say this right now, Timothy Wilms got to be the biggest Cody McElwain fan that you have seen ever. Go ahead and just hold him off. Do not let Dravic win this, because if it happens like that, and they finish like they run it, or as they run it right now, you see it on the bottom right, Timothy Wilms is literally cheering on Cody McElwain to make it happen. Dravic, he's got other plans, sends it, going into turn 1, almost tagged his teammate in the tailgate. Invents, baby, they're going to love this if they can get it done. You got the Save 22, the Invents, all of them up here in the front 3. McElwain tried to get away, but Dravic stood it right there, tried to see if he could get it to stick. And it stuck. He just wasn't close enough. I mean, got to think about that for a second, Daniel. Your teammate right there in front of you, do you move your teammate to win the race to get in? I mean, hell, I know Carl Edwards did it, but I don't know how this is going to work out right here. I mean, if you done that.
You know what? I can answer that question because I've been teammates with our producer, Eddie Smith, before, and I've bamped him out of the way once or twice. So, but when I did it, I think I actually wrecked us both. So it didn't work out too good. But, yeah, I mean, you got to run your own race out there. I ain't saying go out and wreck the guy, but maybe just get up there and rattle his cage a little bit. But one thing about it, Cody McElwain has proven to be one of the most consistently fast drivers as everybody's smacking the wall off at turn 2. He's been one of the most consistently fast drivers in this series all season, always a threat to win. And he's not going to get easily rattled by anything. And now Dravic, he's having to try to look 2 different places at once. Look out the mirror, see where Jeremy Gardner is at. And then he's also trying to keep an eye on where's my teammate at? How do I get around him? The top 3 separated by just 0.4 of a second right now. This battle for the lead, battle for the win, battle for a spot in the Final Four is 100% on with just 30 laps to go.
Oh, my goodness. And then you got Jake Ellenson right there behind him. Could play a little spoiler, if you will. Timothy Williams up there in the 5th spot. Barkas about 2 seconds, give or take, behind Timothy Williams, or about a second, excuse me, behind Timothy Williams. Remember how all that works out, because if Williams drops another spot, then he'll have 2078. Silver's have 2077. And Silver's trying to just log some laps. He's just hoping and just praying that there's some chaos here on the next couple of laps. But I mean, there's so much going on. I never thought I would say this. This is actually a very good race at Phoenix. I never thought I would ever say that. I always thought Phoenix sucked. Go Locker has proved me wrong. This is going to be a barn burner all the way down to the end of it, Daniel.
Yeah, these drivers have taken some racetracks that I'm honestly not a fan of and made them a blast this season. Phoenix being a prime example. Hell, even thinking about that race we had at Gateway, the photo finish between Gardner and McElwain, 2 of those drivers up there in the top 3. That's another track that you usually pull it up on the schedule and think, well, this is one that I might be sick for. But they found a way to make it awesome and just showing why they are here in this Premier Series. Talking about McElwain, he is putting those 2 tires to use right now. He's starting to stretch just a little bit, starting to stretch that lead over Patrick Drabick and just tried to hang on, but Drabick now closing back up on him. It just, I gotta wonder how much maybe it's aero. You get in that dirty air, that little bubble behind these cars, you just lose just enough grip that you can't stay tucked right up behind the back bumper of that car in front.
And Daniel, I mean, you got to think about this, because we've watched Patrick Drabick numerous times coming off turn 2, just absolutely nail the turn 2 wall. There possibility, I mean, as hard as these cars, because these cars has got tougher and tougher and tougher over the years, but there's a possibility Drabick's hit the wall so many times, he may have some wheel damage that could throw him off trying to go in. I mean, it doesn't look bad from what we see. But it certainly could be some wheel damage that could really end up causing Patrick Drabick some issues. I mean, he doesn't see nothing, but as hard as he's been hitting the wall and the smoke and the sparks and everything else, there's no telling as it might actually be coming into bad play for him. Gardner, door banging, coming off of turn 2. They almost made contact again down the back chute.
Oh, they almost got together there. Gardner backs out of it, lets Drabick keep that position. I shouldn't say lets him keep it, but I think he made a business decision there, talking about, do you really want to piss off somebody that you may or may not be racing for a championship next week? Decides to give him just a little bit of extra room there, and Drabick able to hold that number 2 position. But yeah, it's possible he may be fighting a little bit of damage. We've seen these drivers making that contact with the wall off of turn number 2. And I know at one point in time, I don't know if this is still the case or not, cutting the dogleg on the front straightaway would also give these next-gen cars damage. And you can see there as they cut it, you see the sparks flying, you see just how violent that transition from the banking down to the dogleg is. I mean, it's possible that that could be affecting it. I know I've run a race here at Phoenix before in these, never touched the wall, just cutting the dogleg and had about 20-30 seconds of damage from it. So something else to keep in mind, because these drivers have been pretty well consistently doing that throughout the entirety of the race.
Yeah, very good possibility there. You see it right now. Now we are at 88. Remember I said 88 a while ago and it was really 68, so I have my numbers mixed up. But it is 88 of 110. They're working their way all the way around the racetrack, fixing to flip-flop back up here, make it 89. Boy, these laps are just starting to just tick away. And Drabick's starting to back up a little bit. McElwain's starting to pull away. You mentioned it a second ago. That's what blows my mind. That is something that I'm trying to figure out. McElwain took 2, Drabick took 4. Daniel, you would think the 4 tires would be the advantage over the 2 tires. You would think that, but it's certainly right now I don't believe that's the case. That's why I feel like maybe Drabick's got some wheel damage from hitting the wall as many times as he has.
It could potentially be that Pat may have just pushed a little too hard on the tires, got a little bit too much heat into them. I mean, the dirty air in this car, I've seen a lot of drivers talking about it in our Discord chats and just talking about how bad that dirty air is. So it could also just be a fact of that number 6 car just likes being out there where it doesn't have to deal with any of that. I mean, we have seen a few times where McElwain has come up on the lap traffic that's allowed Drabick and Gardner to close in just a little bit on him. But once he gets that clean racetrack, he's kind of able to set sail again. You can see it here. Last time around, he was just about even with Patrick Drabick. Jeremy Gardner actually about a 10th faster than McElwain that last lap. But there's so many different things that it could be. But, I mean, I'm starting to side with you here. It may be just one too many scrapes to the wall, one too many, we'll call it a kiss off the wall off of turn 2, that may have just a little bit of damage affecting that 0-7.
Very much could, as it's already a little over half a second. And now Gardner has had enough of it. He's going to jump down to the inside, try to find his way around Patrick Drabick. Mind you, if this race ended right now, Gardner obviously won last week. He is in. Cody McElwain gets the win here tonight. He is in. Jamie Barkis, oh dear God. Oh, Drabick, second big save, and it's going to end up costing him big time. Jake Ellingson goes around him, and Gardner took a shot, went to the inside. Drabick tagged him in the back end and almost sent him for a straight up huge spin. And what will that, I mean, how is all that going to play out? Because now you got other guys. Wilms, Barkis, they're closing in this gap as well. How is all this going to play a factor down here as far as the points goes? We are getting down to the nitty-gritty.
And Timothy Wilms holding on to that final spot in the championship 4 by 3 points over James Silvers. Silvers currently showing 2 laps down, but does have a meatball flag. And Matt Knight's currently in the 64 is just 2 laps behind him. So depending on just how long it takes them to repair that, potentially another position and another point that James Silvers could lose, it is not looking promising for the 4. He's going to need some help. He's going to need Wilms to lose a few spots here to be able to have a shot at it. Jamie Barkis looking pretty good so far with his points position. This battle for 3rd, though, still on between Drabick and Gardner. They are still putting the pressure on one another. Timothy Wilms probably sitting right there behind him thinking, hey, maybe I'll make a little bit more contact. I can gain me 2 more spots and just solidify my spot in that championship 4. Just 15 laps to go here at Phoenix. You see Jamie Barkis there. He's starting to close up on Wilms as well, but I like where Wilms is at right now, unless he makes a big mistake. I mean, Jamie Libke and George Jewell are pretty far back of him at this point to be able to lose another spot. So I at the risk of putting the curse on somebody, I like where the 86 is sitting to be able to work his way into that championship 4.
Yeah, he's got a fantastic shot to be able to try to make it happen. And, you know, I'm sure Timothy Wilms has got some fans out there in the live chat that would certainly be pulling for him any way, shape, fashion, or form here tonight. Wilms sitting in 5th, Barkis sitting in 6th. Ellingson's already shot around Drabick. Ellingson, like us talked about a while ago, you know, we were talking about it, kind of laying in the weeds, waiting for something to pop off. Well, it damn sure did. It did pop off. So Ellingson, if he can find something here in the last handful of laps, maybe close the gap on Cody McElwain and maybe just go for the win and just say screw it, because he's in one of those situations where he can throw it on the wall and see if it's 6 and just say screw it. He ain't in the playoffs. He's just trying to go for wins. So Ellingson about a second back from McElwain. Then you got Drabick, then you got Gardner, Wilms, Barkis. You could cut the tension with a knife at this point because nobody knows how this is going to turn out.
Yeah, and I really thought that maybe Ellingson was saving a little bit of tire, might be able to get up there, put some pressure on Cody McElwain, but only about a 10th, actually about a half a 10th faster that last lap for Jake Ellingson. This battle for 3rd not going away between Drabick and Gardner. Drabick wants to definitely hang on to that position. If there is a late race caution, gives him a little bit better options of, if you pit, do you take 2, maybe try to take control of the race? Do you say screw it, stay out, see if you can hold everybody off? But Timothy Wilms starting to close in on this battle as well. He is getting, he's actually getting real close to the back of this battle. He's been catching them by about 2/10 a lap here the last couple of laps, trying to just, again, pick up a couple more spots and solidify his spot in that Champ 4.
And very good possibility, and I don't really want to throw any more issues than what we may end up having. We're 10 to go. Caution could come out. You never know. As if this race had already been flipped over on its lid with the action and, you know, everything that we've saw here tonight. There could be a caution right here in the middle in a minute, and we could end up having a Denny Hamlin moment with somebody looking like, yeah, bam, they're going straight in it, no problem, bam, they're gone. Or, yeah, I mean, you just don't know. You just don't know what's going to happen as the laps are ticking down pretty damn quick, though. They're moving by. Just click it off. Bam, 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 bam. All these drivers, the guys that's sitting up in the top 4, you know, with McElwain, Barkas, and Wilms, they don't want nothing to happen. Everybody else, they want some guys to get pissed off and start doing some crazy stuff. It's Jamie Barkas back there trying to hold on.
Yeah, sorry not to interrupt you there, Jake, but that was a pretty substantial hit to the wall there for Barkas off of turn 2. Let's take a quick look on the V-Speed instant replay. Just gets tight on exit, and you can even see that hood, the right front fender, kind of crinkled up. Then the visual damage went back away on it. But when you're in the position that Barkas is in, I mean, you're 4 points to the good over the driver that is currently in 5th. It'd be the first driver out. The last thing you want is a self-inflicted error that ends up costing you some spots, or even worse, maybe you get up there and break a toe link or something. So Barkas able to gather it back in, doesn't look any worse for wear at the moment, able to continue on and hold down that 3rd spot in the point standings.
Jamie Barkas is trying to soldier on. Oh, good God almighty. Drabick, Gardner, sending it. Drabick almost lost it right there off of turn 2. Oh, but I'm telling you right now, Drabick is not wanting to let Gardner go right here. We may have beef when this thing is all said and done right here with Drabick and Gardner. I'm not sure, but as hard as both of those old boys are racing, you would think they're racing for the lead right now. Just as how hard they're racing, how close they're racing. I mean, look at them, hitting the wall again off of turn 2. That turn 2 right there, it's going to have different colors on it. It's going to be white, it's going to be red, it's going to be green, it's blue all the way around. But there's just going to be colors all over the place off of that turn 2 before the night's over with. As battle for 3rd is heating up. Gardner down to the inside. He will get around Patrick Drabick, and Gardner will go to 3rd.
Yeah, Gardner with a really aggressive cut down to the apron there on that dogleg front straightaway, and there's a little bit more red and white paint for that outside wall off of turn 2. Put Gardner up into the number 3 position, though. Starting to close back in just a bit on Jake Ellingson, but Ellingson still about a half a second up the road of this battle. Let's take another look here at our race leader, Cody McElwain, still holding about 9/10 of a second over Jake Ellingson for the lead, working on putting Corinne Smith a lap down here, currently running in the 13th spot herself. But Cody McElwain coming to the line, just 3 laps to go. He wasn't in a must-win situation, but boy, is it nice to be able to get one to put yourself into that championship race and carry that momentum onto the finale.
That's a big reminder out of that one right there, Daniel. Just go ahead, try to get out here, get you a good finish, get you a win, and carry the momentum, ride the momentum, knowing that you're on a winning streak going into the championship race. Jeremy Gardner would have loved for that to happen tonight. He still may have a shot. I mean, he's second back. He's actually closing in on Jake Ellingson right now. There's the battle right now for the 2nd spot. Ellingson occupied it. They're working their way around Corinne Smith in the 10, able to work their way there. And Gardner trying to put a little pressure as well. So both of these old boys might be throwing haymakers back and forth, back and forth, back and forth right here, Daniel. You know, with McElwain and Gardner trying to flex their muscle, but it looks like McElwain's going to get the advantage here tonight. White flag is in the air. One more lap to go for Cody McElwain here at Phoenix.
Cody McElwain with that 0.8 of a second advantage over Jake Ellingson. Jeremy Gardner putting a little bit of pressure on for that number 2 spot. Exactly what McElwain wants to see in his rearview mirror. Allows him to pull just a little bit away. one final time through turns 3 and 4. He's going to lock his way into the finale at Kansas with a win here this evening. Cody McElwain is your winner here at Phoenix.
Cody McElwain with the win. Alex Gardner second and third. Patrick Drabick ends up finishing fourth. Timothy Williams will get fifth. And by our point tally, by everything that we know, and obviously this is unofficial, Daniel, but on the right side of your screen in the bottom right, that's what you're looking like. And Timothy Williams, according to this, unofficially, will be racing for a championship next week at Kansas. Him and Jamie Barkus locked themselves in with their finishes here at Phoenix here tonight. You see Cody McElwain out there on the racetrack, gonna do a little burnout show for you. And it's like he's got some friends out here that's gonna help him out as well. Cody McElwain, though, led him 40 laps here tonight. Number 6 in Vance Ford is going to burn it down right here on the front straightaway. And you got to think that now Cody McElwain has took over the role as the man to beat come Kansas time next week.
He very well could. He has been fast all season, won a ton of races. He's been one of the favorites all season long. He's going to have that best friend momentum to carry in next week at Kansas. He might just be the favorite, like you said, but it's not going to be an easy battle between himself, Gardner, his teammate Jamie Barkus, and Timothy Williams.
Yeah, I mean, four drivers right there that I have absolutely no idea how it's going to work out. Mind you, a while ago, I said, Gardner, McElwain, Barkus, and Drabick, if you had them in your pool, that, you were probably screwed. Well, 3 of them made it, so I don't know how your parlay works out on all that if you have one going on. But if you only had 3 of them, then you won. Congratulations. But that's what we've got right now. As of right now, that is unofficial. So nothing guaranteed on that, but we'll obviously get confirmation later on this evening. Everybody will know about it. Folks, we're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back here at Phoenix. Post-race interviews and our final thoughts. Get you ready for Kansas next week. Don't go anywhere.
Superior quality, ultimate protection, and the highest level of craftsmanship. We make our gloves for the hard worker that wakes up every morning and gives 110%. You deserve the highest quality protective gear that's going to work for you, day in, day out. We know it can be tough deciding what companies to trust for your hard-earned money. It's all in our name. We've mastered our craft to help you master yours. We make our gloves rugged, durable, and designed for you. Whatever the job is, we have you covered. We are your glove station.
A thriving job market and low cost of living, plus a wide range of veteran benefits, make Indiana the perfect place for veterans of the United States military to call home. InVets can help you find that home. We're an organization started by veterans to help former service members transition to civilian life in our state. InVets can help you find the community with the career opportunities, housing, schools, and amenities that fit your lifestyle. To learn more about InVets, visit us at invets.org today.
At Phoenix Cruisin' Classics Next Gen Series. Good Lord have mercy, what a finish we had here this evening. Get you your race results Line them up for you. Cody McAway winning and locking himself into the championship race next week in Kansas. He gets the win. Started 13th in the field. I think he was the biggest mover in the race, if I'm not mistaken. So good run for that there for McAway to be able to lock himself up. Jake Ellingson obviously coming home with second. Jeremy Gardner, he didn't even have to show up tonight, but he decided to just for the hell of it. He gets a podium here this evening. Patrick Dravick needed that win. Wasn't able to make it happen. He wound up finishing fourth. Timothy Williams had enough, done enough to make it into the championship four. He comes home with fifth here this evening. Jamie Barkus done enough as well. He ends up finishing in sixth with George Jewell, Jamie Lebke, James Kaufman, and Alex Cruz to top 10.
Finishing just outside of the top 10, Charles Aber comes home in the 11th position. Chuck Pegleg Phelps comes home 12th. Last car on the lead lap. Corinne Smith in 13th. Tyler Evans 14th. James Silvers held down one of those Champ 4 positions throughout a lot of the evening. He comes home in 15th. Matt Knight 16th. Claire Sisk in 17th. And Dylan Canova actually mentioned it in our YouTube live chat that the power surge happened at about the worst possible time for him. So it wasn't an internet issue. Still a hardware issue, though. Unfortunate for him after showing a lot of speed. He comes home as 18th, last car to take the grid here this evening.
Samuel Joseph was race director here tonight. Bobby Germain decided he was just going to kick back and watch it all unfold here tonight at Phoenix. But your race winner, old buddy right here, Cody McAway, getting the win and locking himself in. Cody, buddy, congratulations on the win. Congratulations on making it to the championship four, buddy. I'm telling you, 2 tires. Oh, baby,
Yep.
what was the thought process in 2 tires off that pit stop?
Man, it was just, I was in a decent spot with track position. And I said, well, if I take 2 here, the worst that's going to happen. And also, let me back up. I don't know what the cushion was, but I had a pretty decent cushion. So I'm like, worst that's going to happen, I'm going to fall to like 12th or something. And I'm like, I'll probably still get in. So I'm just going to throw a little Hail Mary here. And I think that's the first time that's ever worked out for me, taking 2. And again, I think the only reason it actually did work is because Pat and Jeremy got a little racy back there behind me. So, but yeah, man, like I said, just threw a little Hail Mary and it happened to work 1 out of a million times for me. So glad to be here.
Well, it definitely played out in your favor. And, you talked about those drivers on the 4 tires behind you getting a little bit racy. Once they got up there and cleared into that second and third spot, were you kind of sweating a little bit, thinking that maybe the 4 tires would prove out to be faster in the long run? Or were you kind of thinking that the clean air would be the way to go there?
No, I wasn't sweating. I knew it. I knew I was going to finish, 4th, 5th at that point. That's what was going through my head. I'm like, I'm not going to do anything crazy here. I'm not going to wreck one of those guys trying to defend. Like, I'm sitting here thinking to myself, they're going to get here. They're faster. But yeah, like I said, when they got so racy, and I don't know if some tires got burned up or maybe they got some damage. I think something happened behind me. I seen somebody sideways, but yeah, I'm just shocked that I'm sitting here as the winner.
Cody McAway getting the win here tonight at Phoenix, winning it in. That's how you do it here with Goat Locker. Cody, buddy, congratulations on the win. Appreciate your time as always. Thank you, sponsors. Any shout outs?
Yes, sir. Appreciate you. Yeah, I'd just like to shout out Lincoln Tech, Save 22, Nasty's Bar and Grill, Cruisin Classics, for sponsoring this series. The Indiana Department of Veteran Affairs. I'd like to shout out InVets on my car. And just everybody, all these other sponsors. I say this every time I'm in here. We couldn't do what we do without all the great sponsors, not just the ones I've listed. And again, we appreciate you guys in the broadcast booth, man. Y'all do a fantastic job. I love going back and watching these things.
Cody McAway with the win, trying to ride the momentum going in to next week in Kansas. Cody, appreciate your time. He gets the win here this evening. We'll go to second place finisher, and that is Jake Ellingson. Jake, buddy, coming home with a P2 here tonight. You started third. You started up there at the front. Kind of kept it up there, buddy. Pretty good run for you. Tell us about it.
Turning laps. That's all I was doing. I was having fun.
A man of many words here this evening, ain't you, Jake? Um, but hey, I'm always kind of I'm always kind of curious about this. You know, you had a couple teammates that are still in the playoffs. You were racing around them throughout the majority of the evening. You know, you said you're just out there having fun, basically just going out there see if you can find a way to go out and win. What's your mindset racing against those teammates going through the race? You know, do you obviously I ain't saying you pull a bike a wall trip racing and just, get an itchy arm or nothing, but just talk a little bit about how you race them with that in mind that they are still going for that championship.
Piss on anybody. I don't care if you're in the playoffs or not. That's what we're here to do, right? We're here to. It's just I just want to have fun. Now that I was dropped out of I think it was around a 12 or something. Fun and as just trying to turn some laps, see what I can figure out in this car because I mean it was a rough season. All trying to learn some things and if I ended up racing somebody, I ended up racing. Maybe I'll learn something for next season. Come out, a little bit strong standings going into the playoffs. So
Jake Allen, somebody you come home with a P2 here tonight. Congratulations on the run. Appreciate your time as always. Thank you, sponsors here. Shout outs.
I got to thank Lincoln Tech for putting their name on this number 27 podium spot. Definitely say bring promotions, MK cruising class.
All right, and we'll go to P3 here tonight. Jake might have ended up lagging out one way or another, not 100% on that. We'll go to third place finisher, Big Daddy G, Jeremy Gardner, baby. Coming home with a P3 here tonight. Got a little rough, a little rowdy. Daniel, I know you was probably going to ask you, but I got to go ahead. I'm going to be the one to ask you, Barry. Got a little rough and rowdy with the boss man right there. You're locked into Kansas next week, but what's the whole deal getting rowdy with the boss man out there?
Hey man, I'm still going for wins. I don't give a damn. Nah, I don't know, man. On my end, like all seriousness, on my end, it looked like he slid down early. I kind of went back and watched it. I don't know. It's like I didn't go down early enough, but I was trying to hit my line that I've hit all night. So apologies to Pat. I already messaged him, said sorry to him, but no, I wasn't trying to rough him up, but I was definitely faster right there. But yeah, I definitely wasn't going to rough him up because I know he was fighting for it tonight too.
Well, still a really solid run for you there in third place. And just a little side note, thanks for keeping at least your first answer PG this week. We appreciate that. But next week heading off to Kansas, you've had two podium finishes here in the round of 8, carrying some momentum. Are you going to call your shot and say that you're the man to beat next week?
We'll see. Mile and a halfs are definitely my go-to. Kansas is one of my favorite tracks. Damn sure ain't Texas, but it's definitely up there.
Big Daddy G, Jeremy Gardner ends up getting a third here tonight, trying to keep that momentum rolling when he goes to Kansas next week to race for a championship. Jeremy, buddy, congratulations on the P3. Congratulations on the season so far. Appreciate your time. And as always, thank your sponsors and shout outs.
Yeah, Pat and Jamie at GLR first and always. iRacing, MK Fire Designs, Sim Motion. Of course, y'all guys up at the broadcast booth at V Speed. I appreciate everything y'all do. My guys, Premier Racing setups. And yeah, let's see if we can go get another championship this year.
We'll see how that ends up working out. Jeremy, buddy, congratulations on the P3. Appreciate your time. We will go to a couple more drivers. We already done the 3, but we're going to go ahead and go to Timothy Williams. Timmy, you are racing for a championship next week in Kansas, buddy. Congratulations on the run. Talk us through just the emotions that's got to be going through you, knowing damn good and well you're racing for a championship next week.
Man, how did that happen? I have no idea how I'm here, but I'm here.
Well, really impressive run. Yeah, I mean, that was just like a Jake Ellingson interview right there. But hey, really impressive run to be able to get up there and get what ended up being the final spot in that championship for, on that long green flag run that we had. We saw you were one of the last drivers to come down pit road. At that point, you were actually below the cut line. So were you aware that you were below the cut line just based off of where everybody was at? And was it just kind of your mindset like, hey, I got to try something, see if I can catch a caution to get some track position?
Yeah, a little bit. I kind of came in tonight thinking it was a must win. So I was trying to do something a little bit different. Phoenix is usually one of my better tracks. So yeah, I was trying to do something a little bit different, trying to split it in half, but stay out a little longer. And hey, it worked out somehow.
Worked out somehow. Sometimes that's all that matters. Just got to throw something out there and see if it sticks, like we were talking about. Timothy Williams will be racing for a championship next week at Kansas. Timmy, congratulations on the finish, buddy. Appreciate your time. Congratulations on making it to the championship 4. As always, thank your sponsors. Any shout outs?
Yeah, thank you. Big shout out to Cruisin Classics. Big shout out to Nasty's Bar and Grill, the 2 title sponsors of the series. Big shout out Ligatech, Save 22, Indiana Department of Veteran Affairs. Big shout out to you guys, the booth, everyone here at Goat Locker, my family, everyone who watches. Love you guys.
Timothy Williams will be racing for a championship next week at Kansas. Congratulations to him. Another driver that's going to be racing for a championship next week at Kansas. Oh, baby, Jamie Barkis. Buddy, you able to make it in there, get it into the Final 4. Jamie, was there any point this evening thinking that was going through your mind going, damn, I'm screwed. There's no way I'm going to be able to make it into this into the Final 4 and race for a championship at Kansas.
Well, yeah, when I turned my PC on today. but I appreciate look guys, I don't want to burst y'all's bubble or nothing. I mean, I'm super glad that I made it into the Final 4. I appreciate y'all bringing me up here to talk about it. I kind of shot myself in the foot there coming off pit road after that green flag pit stop, spun it, hit the wall. Thought it was really over then, but kept going. Glad we got to the Final 4 and made it to Championship 4. But as typical, I will not be here next week, so that's going to move James Silvers up into the Final 4. So,
well,
yeah. But hey, look, I'm glad to get the who else my sponsor? The Glove Station Chevy into the Championship 4. Yeah, I really wish we'd have a chance to run for the championship. I'm really bummed I'm not going to be able to do it, but hey, in this field with this group of guys we got, just getting to the championship 4 is an accomplishment. So I'm super proud of that. Super proud of being able to do it for Glove Station and Save 22 and Cruisin Classics and everybody else that's on the car. Appreciate everybody's support with that, and I'll be looking forward to watching it next week in the hotel room.
Well, all right. That was quick enough, I guess, right there. Jamie Barkis, buddy. Congratulations on the finish. But looks like he's not going to be in it. James Silvers is going to be in it. Technicality, whatever you want to call it. James, buddy, I will say this. You are in. You are racing for a championship next week. Man, there had to be that time, when you spun it out, you hit the wall, knocked the whole damn front end off of it. Did you think at that point, you just sat there and went, I'm screwed. I'm done. I mean, did it cross your mind? I'm sure it had to.
Well, I've been trying to get at this Cup championship for a while. I mean, I've told y'all that in the past interviews. I mean, I've worked hard for it for a long, long time. And I don't know, man. I was running a good race and I was just trying to maintain and everything was doing fine. And I totally forgot about cold tires. And I was just too busy, focused, worried on the relative. And I got out there on them cold tires and it was slick. And all of a sudden, I came out of the turn. I guess it was 1 and 2. Once I came out of 2, I just got so loose, I just couldn't hold it, and I slammed into the wall. I was like, "It's over." I was sitting there, I was telling myself, I was beating myself up. I was just like, "Damn, man!" I just threw this whole thing in the trash. Worked the whole year just to get here. And we were talking after the race, and I was still disappointed. Me and Barkis were still, when we were talking, he said, "Man," he said, "Don't worry about it." He said, "You said you'd ran a good season and everything else." He said. And then right before I was about to get out of there, he's like, and then we started chatting again. He said, "Yeah, don't even worry about it, Silvers." He said, "You're going to be in it anyway, so I'm going to have to miss next week." I was like, "What?" I went from so sad to happy in about 10 or not even 10 milliseconds. I mean, it was quick. But yeah, I mean, now I guess I'm going to have to get some practice in and really try to focus. And hopefully, I mean, thanks to Barkus for letting me have the opportunity to even fight for the championship. So, I mean, kudos to him, and I'm going to put some practice in, and maybe we can go out here and try to win this thing.
Well, I'll tell you what, James, if this helps you feel even a little bit better, history may be on your side here, because in the spring season, in the last spring season, in the Xfinity Series, Jake Ellingson actually got added to the championship race because one of the final four couldn't make it. And he went on to win the championship. Ask me how I remember, because I was the one he beat. So just a little bit of encouragement there for you. How are you feeling about Kansas next week? Is it one of your better tracks?
Yeah, I usually tend to run pretty good at Kansas. Usually a high side track, so usually have to tend to do that. But usually in these Cup cars, the bottom really saves tires. So we're gonna have to try to really practice a lot this weekend and try to practice on Tuesday and get a lot of information and try to get a lot of boys together and see if we can try to go out and win this championship. So I'm telling you, I was about to go to bed crying, mad, but now I'm happy. So I guess I can go out there and try to race for that championship next week.
James Silver is going to be racing for a championship next week at Kansas. James, buddy, congratulations on the run. I mean, even though, it was a rough one, but you was able to pull it off. Buddy, congratulations on the run. Appreciate your time. As always, thank your sponsors and shout-outs.
Thank you. I'd like to shout out y'all for putting on the broadcast. I'd like to shout out GLR Amazing League. Like to shout out all the series they got in there. If y'all ain't know about them, check them out. They got a great series that they've got going on. Like to shout out, I guess, all the sponsors at Cornerstone, area professionals of WNC, Gigi's Restaurant, Waynesville, North Carolina, Jake's Junk Solutions, Mountain View Detailing, Mount Silver Supply Company. Also, we got the new paint scheme on the car tonight. I don't know if y'all noticed that, but we're going to be rocking that for 2026 as well. And then the last sponsor, got to thank Waynesville Tire.
James Silvers gets in to race for a championship next week. James, buddy, congratulations on the finish. Appreciate your time. We'll see you in Kansas.
All right, thank you, boys. Y'all have a good weekend.
That was James Silvers going to Kansas next week with Daniel. Buddy. It's been a long time coming. We have literally been here from the start of it all the way, and it comes down to next week when we go to Kansas. Buddy, your take on Phoenix here this evening. I'll tell you this much, like I said, and I'm not trying to change NASCAR's mind by no means, but for some reason or another, Phoenix on iRacing, it just works. It works, obviously, with Goat Locker. I've seen other race leagues where it's worked. It doesn't work a flip in real life, but on iRacing, it works out, at least for me. Your take?
Yeah, that's probably the most entertaining Phoenix event that I've seen on iRacing. You're right. I'm not a fan of the next-gen car or Phoenix in real life, but on the sim, it just works. And next week, we're going to be crowning a champion after 15 races at my favorite track on all of iRacing out at Kansas.
Yeah, I absolutely love Kansas. Love that track. Love how it's going to happen. You got the multi-grooves all over the place. You can run the bottom. You can run the middle. You can run the top. Daniel, would you like to make a quick pick on who you think's going to win the whole thing next week, or do you want to try to just wait? That way you don't have a commentator's curse brewing for a whole week.
Yeah, at the risk of pissing off any of our championship 4 drivers, because I've talked to all those guys and I get along real well with all of them. I don't really want that to change. And, after seeing what's happened in some of these other ones, if I have a pick, there might be like a meteorite or something fall through their living room and break their computer. So we're just going to hold off on the pick for right now.
Oh, baby, you got a tendency to do that sometimes. You really do. Well, buddy, Kansas is going to be a good one next week. Cannot wait to see how it's going to work out. We will crown a champion here for the Cruisin Classics Next Gen Series at Kansas Speedway coming next week. But, folks, that is going to do it for this broadcast. Got to thank all the great sponsors involved with Goat Locker Racing. Obviously, Jam Predicting Promotions for the Jam Predicting Promotions Pole Award winner, Lincoln Tech, Save 22, MK Fire Designs, MBETS Nasty's Restaurant and Bar Glove Station above the Yellow Line podcast. Cannot forget about iRacing, because if it wasn't for iRacing, we'd be staring at a blank screen. And Cruisin Classics for the title sponsorship of the Cruisin Classics Next Gen Series. Shout out to the drivers for putting on a hell of a show as always here in the Next Gen Series. The fans, y'all come out with big old numbers, interacting with us and everything else. So thank you very much to each and every one of you, the fans. Patrick Dravitt, Jamie Barkus, Eddie Smith, everybody with V-Speed and Goat Locker Racing, everybody involved, allowing us to come in here, entertain you, the fans, see some of the best racing, literally on iRacing. It's going to be a good one come next week. For our great producer, Eddie Smith, with cameras provided by Dougie Beard, and my good buddy, Daniel Cunningham, on the redneck announcer, Jake Reeves, said as always, say, be safe, be kind, be fast. Northeast Country, that is where we will go next Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, live on V-Speed. Northeast Country, y'all, it ain't a damn tornado. We're getting ready for the Cruisin Classics Next Gen Series Championship race. Oh, baby, bring your popcorn, bring your beer, bring whatever you got to get yourself fired up for, baby. I'm ready to go next Wednesday.